Senior Minister, Ministers, Central Committee Member, veteran leaders, tripartite partners, brothers and sisters, happy 50th birthday to NTUC and happy May Day! "50 years ago, what we had was low-skilled workers, low-wage jobs, unemployment, and social unrest. Today, in the world out there, workers are looking for jobs. Here, jobs are looking for workers. Out there, we see stagnation of wages. Here, steady increase in wages, in household incomes, and in real term, net of inflation. Many Singaporeans, young and old, from manufacturing to services, are happy to have meaningful jobs and they are proud of what they do. We know the world is not perfect. Like everybody else, we aim to keep getting better. Question is there an easy way to a better future? One day, I was walking down the street. I saw a young lady in front of me. At the back of a t-shirt, it says, "The answer is no." I was curious what was written in front. I overtook her, I looked back, and I saw what was written in front, and it said, "The answer is still no." Can we really hope for a better future simply by getting out of manufacturing because it's just too tough? The answer is no. Can we just go for minimum wage instead of upgrading minimum skill? Because minimum wage sounds so seductive. The answer is no. Can we go for unemployment benefits instead of creating jobs and helping our worker, our people, to take on these jobs? The answer is still no. It is a false hope that there's an easy way to a better future. The reality is, we just have to work hard, smart, and work together. Our best bet for a better future is to be future ready today. Be ready to face the strongest competition in the world, because that is the only way we can secure a future, a better future of more jobs, good pay, better life. Not only for workers of today, but more importantly, for the workers of tomorrow. This is certainly not easy, but we are in a good position to do so. Our economy is competitive. Our workforce is competitive. Most of all, we have three unique advantages, our three big plus. The first big plus is our forward-looking labor movement. Our unions are strong today, making ourselves ready all the time for the future economy. We kept updating our union structure to keep pace with the restructuring of the Singapore economy. In the 80s, we restructured our unions from an omnibus to a minibus by dissolving the silo and the PIU into industry unions. Until today, our unions are still repositioning and growing. Just recently, we formed new unions, the HSEU for the healthcare sector, the ESU for the education sector, and the RU for the attraction, resorts, and entertainment sector. There will be more to come as we continue to pursue growth sectors as well as new sectors. Unions elsewhere are getting weaker but ours are getting stronger. I think all our unions and associations, let me say this to you. Well done to all of you. Our social enterprises, the NTUC cooperatives, for 40 years have been helping Singaporeans to cope with cost of living. We launched NTUC social enterprises in the 70s, from income to welcome to comfort. Today, with 12 NTUC social enterprises, and every year we help 2 million customers, 2 million Singaporeans, 2 million workers to manage their cost of living. Globally, inflation for the next 5 to 10 years may stay higher than the past 10 years. We are ready to provide more help to more workers and more Singaporeans. Our vision for software enterprises for 2015 is not just to become cheaper, better, faster, but bigger too, so that we can help more Singaporeans to cope with this higher cost of living. So to all our social enterprises, for helping to stretch every dollars, hard-earned dollars for our workers, we say, well done to all of you. Our union membership is growing. In fact, we're also getting ready for the future workforce. We are today the first and only labor movement that have repositioned ourselves to serve the all colors, all ages, all nationalities of workers. We call them the all-can workers. And in fact, we are reaching out to 3 generations of the workers. Let me share with you a glimpse of our future communities today. We now have YouLive for those union members who are more than 55 years old, people like me. Our YouLive community is today 100,500 strong. They are the believers of active aging, and they call themselves the H2P2 people. Why H2? Because they are happy and they are healthy. Why P2? Because they are productive and they live a purposeful life. So presenting to you, YouLive, our H2P2 people. Many of our working people, our workers, are working parents. They are very busy with their career. So we want to help them as a labor movement, you and me. We want to help them to build strong families with happy children. And we're happy to say that we now have a 38,000 strong You Family community. Let me present to you, You Family. The labor movement of today is not just for the uncles and aunties. We reach out to our young workers as well, especially those who are less than 35 years old. Today, among our membership base, with 150,000 members who are less than 35 years old, and 51% of them are PMET. From caring for the environment to running for the environment, from performance on stage to giving free hugs along Orchard Road, from volunteering to celebrating National Day Parade with total commitment, year after year, let me present to you the largest and the most vibrant youth community in Singapore, the Young NTUC. We do not just stop at our young adults. In fact, we're also reaching out to the workers of tomorrow. Today, in the labor movement, with 41,000 junior members, and they are members of a movement known as the NIBO. Our NIBO, they are students of today, so we work together to help them to be work ready, to be life ready, and to be world ready, because they are going to be our workers of tomorrow. So presenting to you our junior members, NIBO. So from young to the not so young, to the workers of tomorrow, in fact, they are our building blocks to transform the labor movement towards a community of lifelong membership. Once you join the labor movement, you never leave the labor movement until the day we say bye-bye to you. So here is the NTUC, the labor movement, 3K and all gents. Well done. In getting the labor movement to be future ready today, last but not least, is our labor leadership. Our labor leadership is also getting ready to lead in the future world of new globalization. Looking back the last 50 years, we have been blessed with selfless leaders, many of them. They have laid very strong foundation for what makes NTUC the labor movement is today, as well as to lay the foundation for us to grow in the future. I'm glad that some of our past veteran leaders are here with us today. May I invite them to stand up? And may I invite you to join me to express our highest respect and deepest appreciation. Thank you. Today, as we celebrate our 50th anniversary, we'd like to honor one who stood up like a giant. He's none other than Brother Devan Nair. Brother Devan Nair was our founding Sekjen. He played pivotal role in the birth and the growth of the NTUC. The labor movement would not be where we are today if not for his pioneering leadership. So on behalf of the labor movement, we would like to honor and remember Brother Devan Nair by naming our new E2I campus at Jurong Lake after him. Janadas, the son of Brother Devan Nair, is here with us today. Allow me to share with you his family response. Let me quote. My family and I are deeply touched by this gesture. We cannot imagine a more appropriate institution to name after our father. He was a teacher by profession and was the first chairman of the Adult Education Board, the old Lembaga. Indeed, NTUC was formed in the Lembaga office at Fort Canning 50 years ago, naming such an institutions. And NTUC's inspired body dedicated to continuing education for workers after Devan Nair is a fitting tribute to his generation of pioneers, unquote. So, brothers and sisters, presenting to you Devan Nair Institute for Employment and Employability. Our labor leaders of today are selfless too. From our central committee to our leadership lighthouse, the LQ. They play important role to enable all of us, all unions, to adapt, to align, and they lead the unions to charge ahead towards the growth of the labor movement from strength to strength. To secure the future of the labor movement, we are not taking chance with the development of our future leadership. So the present generation of union leaders, the labor leadership, has decided to formalize a three-flow system for labor leadership. The flow-on of leaders for self-renewal, the flow-up of promising leaders, and the flow-in of new leaders. For the selflessness in keeping labor leadership strong, we salute you, the labor leadership of Singapore. Well done. The second big plus is our united tripartism. 1969 modernization seminar. We switch from confrontation to collaboration. National Wages Council was formed in 1972 and it marks the birth of tripartism in Singapore. All these years, tripartite partners ensure that the Singapore workforce is always future ready. The NTUC, we played our part too. From championing computer training with the help of government, Lieutenant Colonel Lee Hsien Loong in the early 80s to the SRP in the 90s with the help of Prime Minister then, Mr. Goh Chok Tong, and the JRP, the BSI, the Job Recreation Program, the Best Sourcing Initiative, to upgrade the jobs of our low-wage workers, to CCI, Customer-Centric Initiative, to enhance customer services, and to the E2I, Employment and Employability Institute, to strengthen job matching in recent years. And time again, the governments, the PAP governments, always help us with policies and funding supports. The industries and the business leaders always come forward as early adopters. Tripartism saw us through ups and downs in our unique and united way. We are pro-business and we are pro-worker too. We reduce pain in downturns together and we maximize gain in upturn together. This year NWC is a good illustration. It further strengthens the trust for future uncertainties. Let me quote from Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, his speeches at our May Day rallies. At the May Day rallies 2009, at the depth of the global recession, Prime Minister said, and I quote, "In the first quarter, our GDP shrunk 11.5% year on year. Our latest forecast for the whole year 2009 is between minus 6% and minus 9%. And Prime Minister Lee said, we had never had to make such a bad forecast. But just a year later, at the May Day rally 2010, what did Prime Minister say? Let me quote, "We've all been on a roller coaster ride. Last year's first quarter, GDP went down 10%. This year, first quarter GDP went up 13%. It is an astonishing number, and business is back. Millions of workers out there right now still suffering from the after effect of the global recession. In fact, many of them can be expected to mark Labor Day not with celebration, but with protest. Here in Singapore, we are celebrating May Day with smiles on our face. We must make sure that our united tripartism today will be even more united in the future of new globalization. Tripartite partners are here today to celebrate May Day with us, with the SNEF and many union management partners, as well as MOM and many government agencies for standing by the labor movement in good times and in bad times. We thank you, our tripartite partners. Please stand up to be acknowledged. Thank you, partners. Our third big plus, in fact, is also our biggest plus, and is our symbiotic relationship with the PAP. 50 years ago, 1961, PAP was divided. The pro-communists, they split to form the Barisan Socialists. The labor movement was divided too, into SATU and NTUC. What we had was a situation where SATU and Barisan Socialists versus the NTUC and the PAP. For 50 years, the NTUC, we are a pro-worker labor movement. The PAP is a pro-people government. So for 50 years, with full alignment, we do our very best for our workers and our people. This symbiotic relationship between the PAP and the NTUC is the root of progressive labor movement and united tripartism. Starting with the first Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew, who mobilized the ground to support NTUC during the formative years, during a struggle against SATU, followed by our second Prime Minister, Goh Chok Tong, and continuing to today with our third Prime Minister, Lee Hsien Loong. PAP is a party and a government we trust, always there for the workers, for the unions, and for the labor movement. We bear the pain of downturn and CPF cut together, and at the same time, we share the gains of upturn together too, from CPF resolution to grow and share and higher total wage increase this year. As we enter a new era of stronger competition, symbiotic relationship between NTUC and PAP must remain strong for us to take better care of our workers and our people. In this general election, opposition does not want Labour MP to be in the parliament, and they say that the Labour chief should not be in the cabinet. They say there's a conflict of interest. Let me ask you, brothers and sisters, do you want the Labour movement to have a strong voice in the parliament to speak out for you? Yes or no? Do you want the Labour movement to have a voice in the cabinet to look after your interests? Yes or no? Brothers and sisters, we want a strong Labour movement and a strong symbiotic relationship with the PAP, because this strong symbiotic relationship is good. A clean government, a good government, and a responsible government is good for the workers of Singapore and the people of Singapore. So to our three prime ministers, cabinet ministers, PAP candidates, comrades of PAP, for 50 years of pro-worker government, for 50 years of symbiotic relationship, we say, we thank you, PAP. The journey to a better future is crowded with bigger and stronger players. There's no easy way to move ahead, to stay ahead, unless we have a CBF economy, a cheaper, better, faster economy, and a skillful, productive, and adaptable workforce. With our three big plus, a progressive labor movement, a united tripartism, and a strong symbiotic relationship between NTUC and the PAP, and with the strong support of our fellow workers and Singaporeans, I'm confident that Singapore and Singaporeans, we can be future ready today ahead of the rest of the world. Let us stay united as one labor movement, as one workforce, as one tripartism, so that we can secure a better economy, a better future, and a better Singapore for all Singaporeans. With that, happy 50th birthday NTUC, happy May Day to all. Thank you.